Most people on YouTube know me by my nickname George from Psy. I have a purist passion the game of craps. I focus my energy on being a consistent and experienced shooter and sharing what I learn as I discover and test it myself. I do not share strategies on how to play the game, but rather focus on how to throw the dice correctly and the adjustments one could employ either in his mechanics or dice set to prolong their rolls. At the beginning of 2022, I decided to challenge myself by tossing 2 dice for a whole year and recording the results of those tosses in a spreadsheet. The objective was quite simple. To answer the question, am I a random shooter or not? See rules of the challenge. To use 2 colored dice if I so wished. To use any dice set I deemed fit for the next roll. To make any adjustments needed to grip, toss, count, landing zone. To only use rolls specified as live craps practice and to exclude collaborations with other shooters like live fantasy craps, or just practicing with friends. To live stream all sessions so that they are verifiable by 2 methods. Chat from viewers and my responses. The KPI we use has a current time and date stamp that can clearly be seen on my live stream. To copy-paste all results in an Excel spreadsheet, and hold cumulative records for each month's results as well as for the cumulative year-to-date results. D. Initial expectations. I actually expected this challenge to be a success and to be able to have an SRR above 6.6. E. Actual results. SRR. Actual 6.33. Expected 6.00. Better by 5.45%. SOR. 8.90. 8.50. 4.74%. BSR, vs expected 4.00. 4.25. 6.3%. I can't help but feel disappointed that my expectations were not met by reality, but here is the statistical reality. Tossing dice has traditionally been analyzed by normal distribution tables, whereby over a large sample of data the actual results should follow the expected results as distributed in a bell-shaped curve. Usually, these curves have a 5% tolerable error. A 5% tolerable error is a measure of the amount of error that is acceptable in a given set of data. It is calculated by taking the standard deviation the data and multiplying it by 0.05. This value is then used to determine the range of values that are considered to be within the acceptable range of error. For example, if the standard deviation of a set of data is 10, then the 5% tolerable error would be 0.5. This means that any data points that are more than 0.5 away from the mean would be considered outside of the acceptable range of error. What does this jargon actually mean in my case? For starters, my 7s fall outside the normal distribution of results. In 54,069 rolls I managed to throw 465 less 7s than expected, or 5.2% less, which falls outside the tolerable error level, or 5.45% better SRR than expected, which again is outside the tolerable level of 5%, ever so slightly. Same with the 11, at 6.5%. My box hits to 7s ratio was higher than 5%, BSR, at 6.3%. The rest of my results were within the bell curve distribution. I expected to perform much better and for that I feel disappointed. However, I gained a new insight into my abilities as a shooter. I can shoot on average for 8 rolls before the 7 out occurs, so I better not work any come-outs. I have the ability to shoot 4 box hits per roll on average, so my betting will be focused on that. Summary of findings after 54,069 live rolls during 2022. Reflection on experience. I believe that sometimes when I was shooting up to 100 rolls per session my performance and focus levels were hindered by the sheer fatigue of my back, legs, and the mental fatigue of transposing dice sets in my head. As I progressed I found it easier and built some stamina to withstand the physical fatigue. However, one thing that I have yet to master is the mental calmness required to keep my focus at extremely high levels required for every roll to be successful or at least within a predictable range of results. I have learned not to stick to one dice set, or to one landing zone, or to one type of count, or grip, but to utilize more tools until I get what works for that session, for that table, for that George on that particular day. My knowledge of transposition of dice sets has accelerated, and my visualization skills have become more in tune. with real-time dice behavior, and real-time adjustment of dice sets.